All right, let's keep banging Jazz. Junri Yabanez says, yes, I love the Utah Jazz. I'm a new subscriber here. Appreciate you.
Let's go.
Thank you, June.
Appreciate
that. El Gundy says the Jazz team is already making LeBron James choke on his word that no one wants to pick the Jazz. Kids rocking Clarkson jerseys here in Seattle. It's remarkable what Jordan Clarkson has been able to do. And again, I'm a realist. I think you guys know this. I am somebody that keeps it very real.
Yeah.
And you and I disagree on Jordan Clarkson, apparently. I don't think he's a guy that you can be like, hey, go win me the game.
Yeah, what I was saying with that, because I want to make sure we're clear. Like, what I was saying is on this team, right? Like, on a championship team, he's a six-man. On this team, he's a guy that you're going to give that look to on some nights. Like, I think it's like, hey, games on the line, who we giving the ball to? It's either Markkanen or Clarkson. It's those two guys. And the reason it's those two guys is because those two guys can get their own bucket, right? Now, I agree with you. Jordan Clarkson isn't a number one. Jordan Clarkson isn't some, dagger of a player. He's not, Book. He's not Kevin Durant. Obviously, he's not those guys. But what I do know is that Jordan Clarkson has a propensity to get extremely hot and make shots that typically he wouldn't make. And so that's what I'm saying for Will Hardy. He's got to be able to read these guys. He's got to be able to say, okay, 5 seconds left. What's happened in this game? Is Markkanen got 30 or has he got 15? Well, if he's got 15 and Jordan's got 25, I'm probably going with JC.
Yes.
Vice versa. So to me on this team, like JC can be a guy that takes the last shot on this team. On a championship team, he's a six-man. But the guy is a scorer. That's what he does. So that's what I'm saying. It's a night-to-night thing, I feel like, for this team.
Yeah, and my feeling is pretty clear on Jordan Clarkson. I think he's a great sixth man. I think he's an elite scorer in this league. But there's an exposure issue. And I think especially what you're seeing now, Jordan has struggled in recent times shooting the three. And I think that's becoming more and more prevalent as he gets more exposure and he gets more opportunity to shoot threes. That percentage is going to continue to go down, and at times it's going to be precipitous. It's going to go to he's going to shoot 2 of 8, 2 of 10, 2 of 6 from 3. But the thing that I really like is he's getting to the free throw line, and I think one of the developmental angles you're seeing is he's not reliant on the 3 anymore. I think in past times in the Donnie, Rudy era, I think Jordan, that was his game, that was his weapon, was to shoot threes. That's it.
Yeah.
So
100%.
For me, I think he's evolving as a player, but he needs to continue to evolve as a player. That I think is really important. And I think also, by the way, when you look at what this team needs, I think you're going to have to find an alpha. Kurt Myers says, well, my weekend kind of sucked. No job after Christmas. Whoa.
Oh, damn.
Kurt, tell us what you do.
Yeah. What do you do, bro?
Tell us what you do. What kind of job are you looking for, Kurt? San Diego State Aztec says, Monty, the shoe room? What does Jake know about Imelda Marcos? Rhetorical question. Thank you very much. I actually have a whole room in my house that's all shoes. The whole room. It's all shoes. Neville93 says, thank you and Jake for everything. Oh, you're welcome.
Appreciate it, Neville.
Troy Cushing says, how good would you both rate the trainers for the Jazz? I answered that question. My bad. Jose Rodriguez. Good morning, Jose. I think this is probably your first comment ever. We do not need a Kevin Durant type player. Oh, really? Don't you guys see? Apparently not. We are playing as a team. This is not a hero player team. Kevin Durant's not a hero ball player. He's just the best scorer in the world.
Yeah.
And if Kevin Durant called today and said, hey, I want to play for the Utah Jazz, sign him up, and where do I get his jersey? Because anytime you can have Kevin Durant wear your jersey, it's a good day.
Yes.
It is absolutely a good day, and there is no doubt in my mind that if it's possible for Kevin Durant, and people are DMing me, I appreciate that.
I think that Kevin Durant
if it's possible to put Kevin Durant on your roster, you're going to do that.
Yeah.
If you can put Paul George on your roster, you're going to do that. If you could put DeMar DeRozan, my nephew Jeffrey met DeMar DeRozan the other day and took a picture with him. And DeMar DeRozan, if I could have him on the Jazz today, I would do that.
Well, what do you get in those guys you don't have? You get reliability.
Yeah.
Hey, every single night, Kevin Durant's probably going to give me 25 to 30 points. You just know that.
You
And
get bucket getter.
Yeah, and on his good nights, he's giving you 40. And the thing is that right now, we're not sitting here suggesting they need hero ball, but what they do need is a dynamic killer on the wing. That's what you need.
I want to understand, Jose, I want to understand your comment there. You think that this team doesn't need a superstar. You think then that they should just, what should they do? You think they should just develop the players that they have on the roster? You think that there's somebody on this roster? And I guess this is where the rubber meets the road. Is there somebody on this roster that's a number one right now? There's not. There's not. There's no bigger Chicago Bulls fan than I. Lauri Markkanen is not a number one. It's why he wound up in Cleveland and now he's in Utah.
Right.
Do you think that Cleveland team would have traded Markkanen if he was a number one? They wouldn't have. But what did they trade him for? Donovan Mitchell, who's averaging just short of 30 points for them. And they're one of the best teams in the East.
How about that?
So my point is that you absolutely have to have a number one on every roster, and that's not easy to come by.
Yeah.
And I think with all due respect to Lauri, Lauri Markkanen is not a number one. The finisher, see the finish.
Right, because he's from Finland, right?
He's
the
from
finisher.
Finlandia.
With all due respect.
You know. Okay, so the oddball out of left field skeet comment this morning. Fawns make pie, make fawns, make people, make buildings, make cities, make insects, make pie.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Okay. Green eggs and ham. I mean, I'm
Good
down.
talk. Good talk, bro.
I'm down. James Jensen says Malik Beasley is the Jazz new sixth man of the year. I'm hopeful. Oh, I totally agree with that. I think he's done a really nice job of just not caring.
Yeah.
That he has no conscience. That's what makes Malik Beasley such a good three-point shooter. He just keeps on shooting.
Yep.
Keeps on shooting. What's up, James Jensen? Gives us a $20 tip.
Thank you.
My guy, what's up? He says, what's the chance Will Hardy will be coach of the year? Jerry Sloan couldn't, and we all know how great he was. Oh, I think Will Hardy is the leading candidate for coach of the year.
Yeah, I mean, how many games they got to win for Will Hardy to be coach of the year?
Oh, 50 seals it.
Yeah.
I mean, this team is supposed to be a 20-win team.
Yeah.
50 would seal it. James, I think that's a really good question. And I think it's a question we can talk about on a weekly basis on this show. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be a daily thing, but if you look at the standings, the Jazz are number 2 in the NBA right now in wins.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty remarkable. And to bounce back, we talked about this on Friday, but to bounce back from a 2-game losing streak. Now, I told you, and I hope you put your money where my mouth was.
Right.
I told you they were going to beat the Suns.
You did say that, and I doubted it, but you did say that, and they did.
You're dumb.
I know.
The point is, their stick-to-itiveness, their attitude, their mental toughness, that's what's winning them games. And so I love what Will Hardy's done here. He's making mistakes. There's no doubt about that. We've talked about rotations, leaving a guy like Lauri Markkanen on the bench too long, or
right.
Yeah. But he's absolutely making mistakes, but I think they're winning games, and he's learning on the job, which I love. Troy Cushing says, how good are the developing trainers for Sexton? I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, I think
physically he looks great.
Yeah. I mean, look at it. When you watch Colin Sexton play basketball, don't watch it for whether he scores or not. Watch it for his movements. How explosive is he? How are his springs? How is his ability to cut? Like, he looks healthy. He looks good. Like, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that, the trainers have nothing to do with a guy stepping on another dude's foot and rolling an ankle, or
how crazy was that LaMelo Ball thing on the sideline?
Like the trainers aren't going to do anything about that. There's nothing that they can do about that.
So LaMelo Ball had a serious ankle injury that kept him out the first month of the season.
Yeah.
He comes back, and in I believe it was his second game back.
Yeah.
He's going towards the sideline in the front row where the courtside seats are, and he stepped on a fan's foot and re-injured the same ankle. He's out.
Yeah.
He
was hooping too. He was balling.
Oh man. LaMelo's a stud. What's up, Lopes fan? Gabe, good to see you, my guy. Says, fans who say our team doesn't need a superstar don't believe their team could ever actually land a superstar. It's a defense mechanism. Ooh.
Well,
that's interesting. You know what? I had never looked at it that way. The biggest stories in sports every morning on the Monty Show, presented by Quick Quack Car Wash. Make sure you get to your Quick Quack Car Wash. I'm telling you, 12 days of free car washes going on right now. Their Riverton location is new. Their South Jordan at the district, big signs, long lines because they're giving away free car washes. It's amazing if you go to the district. And the best thing about Quick Quack is even when there's a line like that, you're there 5, 7, maybe on the outside 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Because they move people through the wash so quickly. And now it's so efficient. And they're brand new. They have the top-notch, newest wash technology in their wash tunnels where you drive through. It's quicker. It's more efficient. And I love the fact that they've got lights and different colors. And your kids love going through there. But the best part about Quick Quack Car Wash is not that you can get a wash pass and go $21 a month. You pay $21 a month and you can get 1,000 car washes if you want, right?
Yeah.
Which is what I do. I get a car wash probably twice a week. But the best part is the people. The people at Quick Quack Car Wash are really friendly. So you see a smiling face. You're not dealing, those machines where you stick your card in and you got to reach out the window and you get that stinger cramp in your shoulder. And
y'all feel me?
You don't have to do that. They have a friendly, smiling face that walks up to your car, is really nice to you, like services you. If you have a wash pass, they put in your license plate. If you're paying, you just give them your card. They swipe it. Boom, you're done. You're in and out in 5 minutes. It's just a really good experience. And their vacuums and towels are free at Quick Quack Car Wash. They bring you the biggest stories in sports. Is the Ute game or are the Utah Jazz the biggest story in sports, do you think?
Well, I think because the Jazz won, they're the biggest story in sports. I think that, anytime you win, that's going to catapult you up the stack. But, this conversation, not to get off Jazz, but I think the conversation around Cam Rising and that throw that hit Dalton in the ankles to basically end the game, I'm sure Ute fans are not amused by that. And yeah, there is a conversation around Bo Nix and what he did, but I think, as far as the biggest story, I do think it's the Jazz. I think this town, listen, dude, this town is a Jazz town when they're winning. When they're good, when they're in the playoffs, it's a Jazz town. And when they're not, it's a football town, and that's it. And that's why I say, the Jazz have just this massive opportunity. And whether, again, for those of you who are newer to the show, we've had all kinds of conversations about, what the Jazz are doing in the community, content creation, like the other stuff besides basketball, what the Jazz are doing. That's why I think they have such an opportunity to make an impact, because this town loves that organization, man. So yeah, I think they are the biggest story in sports today.
Yep. Kurt Myers, who lost his job, apparently has worked in water purification environmental science. Ooh.
Okay.
What was the water purifier we had at our first house here in Utah? I can't remember. The cartridges hanging on the wall. I can't remember.
Dude.
I used to love that thing.
I got to Google it. I got to know.
Yeah, I used to love that thing. Somebody connect with Kurt Myers. Kurt, how do you want people to reach you? Put your email or your social media hit there, and we'll absolutely publicize it for you, because we would love to see if we can help you out. John Jackson says, I'm tired of reading reports that the Lakers are still talking to the Jazz about Westbrook. Are we good to put this trade to rest? I don't think that trade happens. I think the funny thing is, I think the Lakers are the reason that Kelly Olynyk is here. Mm-hmm. Because the Lakers had a deal in place that they could have said yes to for Malik Beasley and Bojan Bogdanovic as a centerpiece. The Jazz would have taken Westbrook back, and the Lakers didn't want to execute that trade. And it's because they didn't want to give up 2 first-round picks. They wanted to hang on to one of those, and I'm telling you that's a mistake.
Yeah.
And I think I would find it hard to believe that the Lakers or the Knicks make a trade with the Jazz. There is lingering, I don't know what. Sentiment, anger, frustration. I think it'd have to be the perfect situation for the Knicks and the Jazz to make a trade.
Yeah.
I think it would have to be, I get the feeling, and I've heard more than once, that Ryan Smith doesn't want to make trades with the Jazz and the Lakers. That he would, if he had his way, he would not make trade with the Lakers.
Uh-huh.
I think Danny would make trades with the devil if he could get what he needed. I mean, honest to God.
Okay, so that's how it's going to be.
I don't think Danny cares if it's the Lakers or your mom. And that's what I really like about Danny Ainge, because for too long, we have all kind of sat around and been like, oh, yeah, we're just going to be here existing. Danny Ainge is not here simply to exist. It's what I love about James Jones in Phoenix. It's what I love about, say what you want about Sean Marks. He went out and got Kevin Durant. He went out and got Kyrie Irving. He went out and got Ben Simmons. I would rather try and fail than not have tried at all.
Facts.
And I love that about Danny Ainge. I love that that's his attitude. I love that he's willing to go out and trade anybody. And again, I think the best executives, with all due respect to all of us, everybody that's here, and Jake and I, and fans
With all due respect.
Fans don't matter.
Right.
Danny Ainge does not care what you think about the job he's doing.
Yeah.
He doesn't care. Danny Ainge cares about one thing: winning. Because Danny knows if the Jazz win, fans will be on board. And if they lose for whatever reason, fans won't be on board. But attendance has been good. From what I understand, revenue in the building has been better than they projected, on as far as targeting goes.
Yeah.
They're trending beyond what they had budgeted and what they had projected. They're beyond projections. So life is good at the Utah Jazz. And I think if Danny can make trades to make this team better, he's going to do that. And he's not going to care what you think.
Well, and I also think that he's just stubborn. Like, he's willing to.
I would agree with that.
He's willing to not, acquiesce to the New York Knicks. Like, he's not going to come to the middle in certain situations. And that's why I think Leon Rose got frustrated. That's why I think the Donnie to Cleveland trade happened, because Leon was frustrated and because, Danny clearly had decided he wanted to move on from this era of Jazz basketball with Rudy and Donnie, and wanted to just start fresh. So yeah. I completely agree with you.
Yeah, and I think that's how it should be. But yeah, JJ, I think you're probably right. I don't know it to be fact, but I'd be stunned if they made that Russell Westbrook trade now. I mean, just buying a guy out for the sake of adding $47 million to the cap doesn't make a lot of sense based on where you are.
Yeah.
So I do think that they are hotly rumored to be involved with the Hawks, and I do think that they would like a John Collins deal. And I think that I've heard from sources that they're chasing young, controllable. I know that they value wings, but John Collins isn't a wing. It's more of a hybrid. He's a big that can shoot. He's a big that can bang.
Yeah.
And he's a big that can defend. And I think John Collins is your prototypical big in this league. I think they really wanted Hunter from Atlanta in the summer, and that deal clearly is not going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't think that a lot of people have asked me about Kyle Kuzma. I just don't think he's the cure for what ails this team.
Well, I just don't think he fits in with what you have going on here. Like,
no.
Again, you got to understand that you can't just say, oh, well, he's the hottest name in the league, let's go get him and put him into this group. Like, you have to understand that when they're making deals, I'm telling you, they are taking into consideration, what kind of guy are you? What's your personality? How would you fit in with the team? Like, is your like, if you're a pain in the ass in the locker room, Kyrie Irving, is your game on the floor going to justify dealing with that? Like, those are things they keep in mind. And frankly, with the Westbrook situation, you're better than them. Like, you're better than the Lakers. That's what I'm saying. I don't even think you need to humor that deal anymore. That, to me, that deal would be dead, because I can go and get, with Beasley and a couple of the other names on this roster, I can go and get first round picks. Like, yep. Danny can do that.
Boyd Lake says, guys. Hey, guys.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right.
Sounds like, but not NFL music in 18
guys.
minutes. Well, now it's 10 minutes away.
Hey,
Football at 50% by Papa Murphy's Pizza. Make sure you use the promo code Monty25 to get 25% off your purchase at Papa Murphy's Pizza. L. Gundy says, I believe Derek White would be a piece that would excel the Utah Jazz, especially now that Conley is in his basketball twilight years. Is Derek White a guy that makes it?
Good defender.
I don't know that he pops
Good
the
defender
needle here. I'd agree with that. Little Jizzy says, Kurt, if you want a good paying oil field job, hit me up in North Dakota, though. Man, but those oil field jobs,
dude,
that's some cash, bro. Those guys make bread. Absolutely. Provo Cougar fan says, Danny Ainge should replace Tom Homo as AD at BYU. No, he shouldn't. Tom's doing a great job. San Diego State, good morning. It says, do you think Danny Singe cares if the trade partner is the Lakers? Too much history with them during his career. I don't think he cares. I think Danny's about winning trades and winning games.
I don't think he's that childish. Like, he doesn't, it's not like there's a singular goal, and that's to win a championship. So if you got to do a deal and get a guy from the Celtics, great. If you got to do a deal get a guy from the Lakers, great. Like, it just doesn't matter. You have to do what's best for the Jazz.
Yep, I agree. NY Monty fan says Danny has been a great farmer this season. He's going to have a lot of suitors with the team we have right now, a ton.
Yeah.
And the thing that I think Jazz fans get so wrapped up in is we can't trade these guys. These are our boys. You're not going to win a championship. Do you want to be the same that you've always been? Because not trading our boys is what this team has always done.
They made it clear they're not trading him.
You can't do that. I'm just telling you, that's just not the way it rolls. Arlington Bears fan says, no need to talk Utah football. They lost. Their fans won't be here to listen. Oof. Anybody want to talk, Jaren Hall versus Cam Rising anymore? I don't think you do. By the way, real quick, not to totally derail it, but BYU fan, I'd love to hear your thoughts on should Jaren Hall come back. Jaren and Puka are two different guys. Jaren Hall should not come back.
No.
He should
It's
not.
a mistake.
Puka Nacua should come back. Jaren Hall should go to the NFL. Should go to the NFL, period. Neville said, what do you guys think about Ingram from the Pelicans? Well, I love Brandon Ingram. He is, in my opinion, vastly underrated, and he's not available.
Yeah.
Especially with all the Zion missed games again, why would you trade Brandon Ingram? I mean, he's phenomenal. I love that dude.
Yeah.
I do. I love that dude. Yeah. Mike Maple says, guys.
Yeah.
The point is, let's get to 9,000. Join for the MI Monty fan, B. Lake, Eric in Raleigh, K. Myers, Alex Caruso, the Soaker, Macho Man.
Soaker.
Monty life lessons, and Jake will never be named the father. Exactly right. Well, you got to have sex to have babies.
He's just a hack.
So, Maples appreciate you, my guy. Let's see. I would look for DeRozan or Jaylen Brown. Not sure how realistic is possible, though. I don't think Jaylen Brown's going anywhere. They're too good. I think the Bulls are frustratingly mediocre.
Just good enough to make the playoffs, not nearly good enough to contend.
But this is, when we talk about basketball, this is why we wind up talking about stuff like this, because I look at the Chicago Bulls, and I'm a passionate Chicago Bulls fan.
Yeah.
Zach LaVine's contract is a huge mistake. He just went through a spat with Billy Donovan, our mediocre head coach in Chicago, because Zach LaVine, the worst investment in the modern era of Chicago Bulls basketball,
doesn't make you feel responsible.
Has a bum knee, so he misses time. So Billy wants to load manage him and is not giving him the minutes that Zach wants. And now we got to have a fight about it. And the media's got to talk about it. And Zach, you're overrated because we can't count on you.
Yeah.
You're hurt too much. So what happens now is my nephew looking for DeMar DeRozan, took a picture with him. Notice he's not looking for Zach LaVine.
So you better check yourself.
Like, this is just what happens.
Yes.
If you can't be counted on and you're not hitting massive game-winning shots like D-Row constantly does, you're just not worth the money.
That's it, Skippy.
And, I will again say Zach LaVine should have signed with the Lakers.
Pack your shit. Let's go.
And if there's a trade to be made, when he's eligible to be traded, trade Zach LaVine and the Lakers.
Yeah.
And let's move on with our lives. Because this Bulls team is not even in the conversation in the East. And I look at that. I look at the Eastern Conference, and I continue to tell you that conference is about three teams. It is about the Celtics, the Bucks, and the Cavs. Those are the three teams right now today that can win a championship in the East. The Sixers can't stay healthy. Your two best guards are out, Maxey and Harden.
Yep.
You're not going to win. Boston, this Kyrie thing is going to be a hangover. It's going to be a hangover. They've horribly mismanaged it. Now we're going to have protesters outside. I guarantee you there's going to be some kind of certain types of way that guys are going to get inside and they're going to protest Kyrie Irving in the building. This, again, why have you not traded Kyrie Irving yet?
Yeah, and you're talking about Brooklyn, just because I don't want to hear in the comments that you said Boston. You said Boston. He's talking about Brooklyn.
No, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Did I say Boston?
You said Boston, yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Brooklyn. I'm old, and I don't sleep much. Brooklyn
Seriously.
is dealing with this Kyrie situation. Why is Brooklyn not traded Kyrie Irving?
Yeah, you want to talk about a Westbrook deal? Why didn't that deal get
Why
done?
haven't they traded Kyrie Irving?
Yeah.
He is an absolute albatross around the neck of the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
And look at how well KD played without him. And look at how well they did without him.
Yeah.
He's not vital to them winning or losing. As long as he's there, he is a distraction. I believe that he is a dividing line in that locker room. Why have you not traded Kyrie yet? He's on an expiring contract. Ship him to Poughkeepsie. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Because guess what? You're not a championship caliber team. Brooklyn currently is 8-9, 9th in the East. And I look at the New York Knicks. You want to talk about a team that's got to go get somebody? How did the New York Knicks not make the Donovan Mitchell trade? And again, I will just sit here and say it. Oh, man, but dude, Quentin Grimes and your mom. And like, did you see him being completely irrelevant with the New York Knicks so far? He played 32 minutes, scored 10 points, 5 boards, 8 dimes.